Have you ever walked into a room expecting an ordinary evening, only to discover that one simple act of kindness was about to change your life forever? Michael Harper thought he was going to a routine business dinner. As a single father struggling to balance work, bills, and raising his young daughter alone, he had learned not to expect surprises. But that night, his boss had a secret. And when she finally revealed it in front of her parents, the words she spoke left Michael completely speechless. Before we begin, if you enjoy heartwarming stories that remind us of the power of kindness, please subscribe to Heart Kindness Tales, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories to people around the world. Michael Harper was 38 years old and exhausted. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise, prepared breakfast for his 8-year-old daughter Emma, got her ready for school, and rushed to work. After work, he picked her up, helped with homework, cooked dinner, and tucked her into bed. It wasn't the life he had imagined. 3 years earlier, he had lost his wife, Sarah, to a sudden illness. Since then, every day felt like climbing a mountain alone. Still, Michael never complained. At work, he was known as the employee who always stayed late to help others. If a coworker was struggling, Michael offered assistance. If someone forgot lunch, he shared his own. Even during his hardest days, he treated everyone with kindness. His boss, Olivia Bennett, noticed. Olivia owned a successful marketing company in Chicago. She was respected for her intelligence and leadership, but what most people didn't know was how closely she paid attention to the people around her. Over the years, she had watched Michael quietly help everyone. She saw him comforting a nervous intern on her first day. She saw him donate vacation hours to a coworker facing a family emergency. She saw him rushing out of the office every evening, not to relax, but to care for his daughter. One rainy afternoon, Olivia overheard a conversation that touched her heart. Michael was on the phone with Emma. "I'm sorry, sweetheart," he said softly. "I know the school dance is tonight. I'll try my best to make it there." His voice sounded tired. When he hung up, Olivia asked if everything was okay. Michael smiled. "Just trying to be both mom and dad." He said it casually, but Olivia could see the sadness behind his eyes. That evening, she couldn't stop thinking about him. Some people demanded recognition for every good deed. Michael never did. And that made his kindness even more special. A few weeks later, Olivia approached him at work. "Michael, I'd like you to join me for dinner this Saturday." Michael looked surprised. "Dinner? It's partly business," Olivia said with a smile. "I'd appreciate your thoughts on something." Although it felt unusual, Michael agreed. Saturday arrived. Michael borrowed his brother's suit and drove to a beautiful historic restaurant outside the city. The place looked far too elegant for a business meeting. As he entered, he spotted Olivia sitting at a large table. But she wasn't alone. An older couple sat beside her. They looked warm and friendly. Michael immediately felt nervous. Olivia stood and greeted him. "Michael, I'd like you to meet my parents." Her father shook his hand firmly. Her mother smiled warmly. "We've heard so much about you." Michael laughed awkwardly. "Hopefully all good things." "Oh, only good things," her mother replied. Dinner began. The conversation flowed easily. They talked about work, family, favorite movies, and childhood memories. To Michael's surprise, Olivia's parents seemed genuinely interested in his life. They asked about Emma. His eyes brightened as he spoke about his daughter. "She's the strongest person I know," he said proudly. Olivia noticed. Every time Michael mentioned Emma, his entire face lit up. As dessert arrived, the atmosphere suddenly changed. Olivia set down her fork and took a deep breath. Michael sensed something important was coming. She looked at her parents first. Then at him. "There's something I've wanted to say for a long time." Michael's heart started racing. Olivia smiled gently. My parents have heard me talk about you for years. Michael blinked. Years? She nodded. They know about the man who stays late to help coworkers. The father who never misses his daughter's school events. The employee who treats everyone with respect, even when life isn't fair. Michael felt embarrassed. Olivia. She continued. No, let me finish. The restaurant seemed to grow quiet around them. Then Olivia turned toward her parents. The next word stunned Michael. Mom, Dad, he's the kindest man I've ever met. Michael froze. Olivia's mother smiled knowingly. Her father nodded. But Olivia wasn't finished. I invited him tonight because I wanted you to meet someone who reminds me that success isn't measured by money or titles. Tears began forming in Michael's eyes. No one had spoken about him like that before. For years, he had simply been trying to survive. Trying to be a good father. Trying to keep moving forward. Olivia looked directly at him. You've spent years helping everyone else while asking for nothing in return. Michael swallowed hard. She continued softly. When my parents asked me what kind of person I admire most, I told them about you. The table fell silent. Michael struggled to find words. Finally, he spoke. I don't know what to say. Olivia smiled. You don't have to say anything. Her mother reached across the table and gently touched his hand. The world needs more people like you. At that moment, something inside Michael changed. For years, he had felt invisible. Like his efforts didn't matter. Like nobody noticed the sacrifices he made every day. But they had noticed. His kindness had mattered. More than he ever realized. As the evening ended, Olivia's father handed Michael a small envelope. Inside was a gift certificate for a father-daughter weekend retreat. We thought Emma might enjoy it, he said. Michael was overwhelmed. You didn't have to do this. Her father smiled. Kindness deserves kindness. A few weeks later, Michael took Emma on that trip. For 2 unforgettable days, they laughed, explored nature, and created memories neither would ever forget. One evening, sitting beside a lake, Emma looked up at her father. Dad? Yes, sweetheart. You're my hero. Michael felt tears fill his eyes. And for the first time in many years, they were tears of joy. Sometimes we think kindness goes unnoticed. We believe our small acts don't matter. Holding a door, helping a stranger, encouraging a coworker, or simply showing up for someone who needs us can seem insignificant. But kindness has a way of traveling farther than we can see. It touches hearts. It inspires people. And often, it comes back when we need it most. Michael never expected recognition. He never expected gratitude. He simply chose kindness every day. And because of that choice, he changed lives, including his own. If this story reminds us of anything, it's that kindness is never wasted. Every gentle word, every helping hand, and every act of compassion creates ripples that can reach places we may never know. So today, choose kindness. Share it freely. Offer it generously. Because the smallest act of kindness may become the brightest moment in someone else's life, and perhaps in your own. Thank you for listening, and remember, kindness costs nothing, but its value is beyond measure. Michael thought the dinner was over. He thought the emotional evening with Olivia and her parents would simply become a beautiful memory. But he had no idea that the kindness shown to him that night was only the beginning of a much bigger story. The following Monday, Michael returned to work feeling lighter than he had in years. For the first time since losing his wife, he felt truly seen. As he walked into the office, Olivia greeted him with a warm smile. "How was your weekend?" she asked. Michael smiled back. "Honestly? It was one of the best experiences Emma and I have ever had. Olivia seemed genuinely happy. Good. You deserved it. Over the next few months, something unexpected happened. Michael and Olivia became close friends. They often shared lunch breaks together. They talked about work, family, dreams, and the challenges life had thrown at them. For the first time, Michael learned that Olivia had her own struggles. Years earlier, she had lost her younger brother in a tragic accident. The loss had changed her family forever. Since then, Olivia had promised herself she would never take good people for granted. That was one reason Michael had impressed her so much. Despite his pain, he continued choosing kindness every day. One snowy afternoon, Emma came to the office after school because her babysitter had cancelled. The employees immediately welcomed her. She sat quietly drawing pictures while Michael finished a report. A few minutes later, Olivia stopped by Emma's desk. "What are you drawing?" she asked. Emma smiled. "My family." Olivia looked at the picture. There was Michael. There was Emma. And surprisingly, there was Olivia too. Olivia laughed softly. "Who's this?" Emma pointed to the figure beside them. "That's you." "Me?" Emma nodded. "You're always helping my dad." For a moment, Olivia couldn't speak. The simple drawing touched her heart. Children often see things adults miss. Emma saw kindness. Nothing more. Nothing less. That evening, Olivia drove home thinking about the little girl's words. She realized something important. Over the past year, Michael and Emma had become a meaningful part of her life. And perhaps she had become part of theirs too. A few weeks later, the company faced a serious challenge. A major client unexpectedly ended a contract worth millions of dollars. The office was filled with anxiety. Employees worried about layoffs. Managers worried about the future. Everyone felt stressed. Everyone except Michael. Instead of focusing on fear, he focused on helping people. He encouraged nervous coworkers. He stayed late to assist overwhelmed teams. He reminded everyone that difficult times never last forever. His positive attitude slowly spread throughout the company. People started believing again. Even Olivia felt inspired. One evening, after most employees had gone home, she found Michael organizing files in a conference room. "Why are you still here?" she asked. Michael smiled. "Someone has to keep morale alive." Olivia shook her head and laughed. "You never stop helping people, do you?" Michael paused. "My wife used to say that kindness is the only thing that grows when you give it away." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Olivia quietly said, "She sounds like she was an amazing woman." Michael nodded. She was. The conversation stayed with both of them. Months passed. The company recovered stronger than ever. New clients arrived. Business improved. And through it all, Michael remained exactly the same humble, caring person he had always been. Then came a surprise no one expected. At the company's annual awards banquet, Olivia stepped onto the stage. Hundreds of employees filled the ballroom. Everyone expected the usual awards for sales, leadership, and performance. Instead, Olivia held a different envelope. "This year," she announced, "we created a new award." People exchanged curious looks. Olivia continued. "It's called the Heart of the Company Award." The room fell silent. "This award is for someone who reminds us that success means more than profits." Michael sat quietly near the back of the room. The idea never crossed his mind that she was talking about him. Then Olivia spoke his name. "Michael Harper." The entire room erupted into applause. Michael looked stunned. People stood from their seats. Many were cheering. Some were even wiping away tears. As he walked toward the stage, co-workers reached out to shake his hand. Others patted him on the back. When he finally reached Olivia, she handed him the award. Then she said something he would never forget. Every company needs talented employees. But people like Michael are much rarer. The applause grew louder. Olivia smiled. He reminds us that kindness is not weakness. It is strength. Michael looked across the room. He saw coworkers smiling. He saw friends. He saw people whose lives he had touched without even realizing it. Then he noticed Emma sitting beside Olivia's parents in the front row. She was clapping harder than anyone. Proud tears filled his eyes. For years, Michael believed he was simply doing what any father should do. But now he understood something deeper. Kindness matters. People notice. And even when they don't say it immediately, they remember. That night, as Michael tucked Emma into bed, she looked up at him and smiled. "Dad?" "Yes?" "I knew everyone loved you." Michael laughed softly. "How did you know that?" Emma snuggled under her blanket. "Because you're kind to everybody." Michael kissed her forehead. And in that moment, he realized that all the awards, recognition, and praise meant far less than hearing those words from his daughter. The greatest gift wasn't being admired. It was knowing he had taught Emma the value of kindness. And perhaps that was how kindness truly changes the world. One person inspires another. One good deed inspires many more. A single act of compassion creates a chain that never ends. And somewhere in that chain, lives are transformed forever. The end. Red Heart.